Hello. Hi, everybody. Good morning, and you are very, very welcome to our second Sustainability in the Arts Festival. We're absolutely delighted to have you here on such a miserable, wet and windy morning. But without further ado, we're going to move along here and we're going to introduce our guest speakers. And we're actually delighted to have our very own president, Professor Veronica Campbell, with us today to launch the festival. So could we please give our president, Veronica Campbell, a very warm welcome.
Good morning, everyone. It's lovely to see you all here with us today, and such a great turnout for our Sustainability in the Arts Festival for 2024. I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to Ambassador David Donoghue, who serves on the Leadership Council for both the SDSN and also the Global SDSN, and also Dr. Michael Barimo, who I've just been chatting to, manager of the All Ireland Sustainable Development Solutions Network Ireland. You're both very welcome. It's a real pleasure to have you with us today, and thank you for being here and sharing your insights. I'd also like to welcome Paddy Prendergast, the chair of SETU's governing body, who also has a personal interest in sustainability from an academic perspective and is here with us today. And also, I'm not sure if I've seen him yet, so he may not be here, but Howard Keeley, if he is here, and staff and students from Georgia Southern University. It's just delightful to have you with us today. I was in Savannah a couple of weeks ago in your university, so it's really wonderful to have you participating with our staff and students. So you're very welcome, and hope you have a great day. I'd like to also take this opportunity to congratulate our colleague Dr. David Ryan, who's with us this morning. And he was appointed and approved at yesterday's governing body as SETU's first Associate Vice President for Sustainability, and he's standing at the back there, and I'm sure many of you will have a chance to speak to him. So David, many congratulations indeed. The goal of our Sustainability in the Arts Festival is to grow the culture of sustainability at our university, and I'm really delighted to see how it's been welcomed so warmly by the SETU community, to the extent that now in its second year, and the festival's calendars of activities span all our campuses, and we've got 2 days of activities and events here in Waterford and in Carlow and in Wexford. And as you are all probably very aware, SETU is a new university, just less than 2 years old, with a multi-campus presence across the southeast. And we take great pride in our leadership role in the region, serving as a pivot point for an innovation ecosystem that develops and exchanges new knowledge to enhance the civic, economic, social and cultural lives of our communities. And I think sustainability is a key link across all of those important ambitions. When we launched our strategic plan, which we've called Connecting for Impact, that really represents a roadmap for our university over the next 4 or 5 years. And the theme of sustainability has been woven through our strategic plan. And the success of our strategic plan will be measured against our ability to realise our objectives in a sustainable way. And indeed, the establishment of the role of the Associate Vice President for Sustainability is a demonstration of our commitment to lead this change, ensuring that sustainable practices underpin everything that we do while we embrace our public advocacy role for sustainability in the Southeast region. As President of SETU, I do find it very reassuring indeed to know that our communities have indeed embraced the culture of sustainability. Colleagues on our SETU campuses have gone above and beyond their day-to-day roles, with staff driving initiatives such as the recent Antashka Green Campus application to Carlow and the recent hosting of the Environ 2024 conference here in Waterford. And the importance of the sustainability theme is truly valued across our university. The concept of the sustainability in the Arts Festival is particularly exciting as it gives us an opportunity to shine a light on this sustainability movement at the university and across all our activities in a way that we've not done previously. The event was developed to introduce the Sustainable Development Goals agenda to students in a meaningful and accessible way. The multidisciplinary approach encompassing music, some of what I heard earlier from upstairs, the visual arts, the culinary arts, languages and internationalisation is an excellent way to reach a broad and diverse audience with a valuable concept that at once informs and creates the space for us to reflect and challenge prevailing mindsets and values. The theme of sustainability clearly does not sit with any one discipline. It has a universal reach and responsibility, extending beyond our university, our region, and our country. As I look around the space we have here today, I'm delighted to see both second and third level students. I urge you to participate in the events here today and to experience the various disciplinary offerings with our local, national, and our international guests. It is really connecting with others and creating an interdependence that we will indeed create impact together. The joint collaborative recreation of Van Gogh's Sunflowers with local artist Ben Hennessy certainly jumps out as impactful, and this installation will be created collaboratively from a collage of recycled materials and is going to take centre stage in our atrium. And also the production of large-scale installations is further explored with multimedia artist Selina Muldoon's workshop on the process of producing large-scale installations to disrupt and create impact. And this method is particularly effective in creating messages around climate change. And I'd like to thank both Ben and Selina for their contributions to today's festival and to the sustainability and climate change conversations generally. I think the first and second year music students from Our Lady of Mercy Secondary School, I'd like to thank them, and our third year music degree students will truly prove the value of connections when they perform their new composition with their homemade instruments and body percussion. So well done to you all for your imagination and innovative collaboration. And finally, I'd like to extend a sincere thank you to all of our speakers, contributors, musicians and guests. You've all played a really important part in bringing this festival to life and engaging with the sustainability conversation. I'd like to thank Hazel Farrell, an absolute wonderful colleague. Hazel is involved in so many different things across the university, which she embraces with such enthusiasm and gusto. So really delighted, and we're just really, really happy to have her here in SETU and very lucky to have her. She is also a neighbour of mine, as it happens, and she is also a wonderful neighbour, so thank you, Hazel. But I'd like to thank not just Hazel, everyone who's helped in supporting the festival with your time and your energy and your talents across our three campuses here in Waterford and in Carlow and in Wexford. I thank you all, and I look forward to seeing this festival continue to grow in the years to come. And of course, none of this is possible without funding. So I would like to thank our generous sponsors, SATLE and the N-TUTOR initiative. A huge thanks to both bodies for your financial support. And with that, I wish you all a great day, an enjoyable day of connecting with you all. Really, again, welcome to our international guests and our regional guests. It's wonderful, and have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Veronica, and it really means a lot to us to have your support and indeed the support of all of the executive and management team. Our next speaker I'd like to invite to come up here is our Head of School of Humanities, Dr. Suzanne Denif, and this is a humanities initiative, so it's really important for us that I suppose Suzanne is here and is able to represent the school for us today. So a very warm welcome to Suzanne, please.
So, good morning everybody. I'm delighted to be here today to echo the welcome that our President Veronica Campbell gave to you all, to welcome you to our second SETU Sustainability in the Arts Festival. The festival originated from the work and efforts of a wonderful group of School of Humanities academics led by Dr. Hazel Farrell, but also Don O'Neill and Nolene Dooley. And they established an educational group within the School of Humanities, which was focused on student engagement. And they called the group CASE. You'll see the banners here, CASE. And CASE stands for Creative Approaches to Student Engagement. And it was their initial work in CASE, which is extended across SETU to include the SALTE funding and N-TUTOR, and now also, of course, including Georgia Southern University, which has led to the festival here today and taking place also tomorrow. President Veronica Campbell discussed sustainability and how important it is to SETU. And what the festival does is it gives us a welcoming and accessible platform to disseminate student learning and research related to sustainability. And in doing so, it promotes a culture of sustainability across our university campuses and out into the wider communities, and we're delighted to have our second level students here with us today. Student engagement is a very important part of SETU. It's included in our strategy and in all of our teaching and learning activities. And what's wonderful about the festival is its multidisciplinary engagement. So we have students from multiple programs across the School of Humanities involved in the festival, from music to art to design to languages to culinary. And bringing all of these disciplines together gives us a very comprehensive picture of how the arts can promote sustainability. It's a very commonplace but very misplaced notion that arts and humanities are perhaps useless when it comes to changing the world. And the very heavy emphasis in government policies on science and technology and engineering as solutions to meeting many of our challenges in humanity today is right and proper, but we must not forget the role that the humanities can play. You won't solve an energy crisis with a poem or by singing a song. But what you will do with the arts and humanities is change us. And by changing us, we can then change the world. So the Sustainability Festival offers us an opportunity to consider sustainability in new, creative, and enjoyable ways. And I'm sure, like me, you're really looking forward to the wide range of activities that are going to happen over the next 2 days. So I'm delighted to welcome you all to the Sustainability Festival. But I also now want to welcome our Georgia Southern colleagues who are here. We have Amy and Bob, and I'm going to hand over to them. Unfortunately, Howard, who was meant to be here, couldn't be here. So, Amy and Bob, delighted to welcome you.
On behalf of Georgia Southern University and our multiple campuses in Statesboro, Savannah, Hinesville, and Wexford, Ireland, we would like to send our greetings from stateside, and we're so delighted to be here. My name is Dr. Amy Potter. I'm an associate professor of geography in the School of Earth, Environment, and Sustainability.
And I'm Bob Batchelor, and I'm a historian.
So we just want to express our sincere thanks for the invitation to allow our students to partner with y'all today. We are so thankful for the work of Dr. Hazel Farrell and the many meetings that we've had over the last few months to incorporate our students into this incredible event. So there are 2 cohorts that are here today. We have our first ever Honors Global Scholars students. They are freshmen. We have 13 of those students representing our Honors College. And then we also have students of various levels, undergrad and graduate level, from the Waters College of Health Professions. You want to add some more?
First time I was in this room was about 12 years ago. Like I said, I'm a historian by training. And the thing that is attractive to me about sustainability is long-term thinking. And this relationship has evolved over more than a decade. I think that Veronica and Suzanne and Hazel's work to really pull together this theme of sustainability has inspired us at Georgia Southern to rethink the way we're doing things at our university. Mm-hmm. So this is a really important trip for us, for our students who have gotten to kind of present their work internationally and have been working on this for quite a while. Mm-hmm. And we really appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Yeah. And of course, we're looking forward to an ongoing partnership between our two universities, and we're already excited to bring our next cohort of global scholars back next year. So thank you again, Hazel. We're so appreciative, and we look forward to being part of this event.
Thanks to Amy and Bob, and indeed it is a pleasure working with you and McKinley and Howard as well, and it's lovely to meet all your students eventually today. Okay, so I'd like to welcome Ambassador David Donoghue up next, and the Ambassador was actually involved in establishing the Sustainable Development Goals in the first place in his role, so he's going to tell you more about that, I think. So can we give David a very warm welcome, please?
Thanks very much, Hazel, and thanks to Veronica and Suzanne and others. First of all, congratulations on this really wonderful initiative. I mean, it's quite inspiring to see it. I'll tell you something about the Sustainable Development Goals. For those of you who don't know anything about them so far, look at the badges on everybody else. You'll see, I think the one I'm carrying here, wearing here, has 17 little chinks of colour, and this represents 17 goals. This was a unique experiment carried out at the UN, which involved almost 200 countries, in other words, every country in the world, agreeing on a development agenda, which almost literally covers everything under the sun. Health, education, sustainable cities, sustainable agriculture, sustainable oceans, gender equality, human rights. It is a vast agenda which was agreed word for word, even comma, by 193 countries in 2015. These goals apply until the year 2030. That's to say, in theory, they should be all complete by then. I was the Irish ambassador, as Hazel mentioned, and it fell to me and to the ambassador of Kenya to get the agreement of 193 countries to this new agenda. I had to do a lot of the drafting, which meant that I had to arm twist people into accepting compromises and so on and so on. But we got there eventually. The interesting thing is that several years later, no country in the world is pulling back from the SDGs. It's probably the only uncontested global agenda. Even the countries which are most difficult and contrarian on various things, and you can think of one or two, are still signed up to the SDGs. Now, I'm not ruling out that a possible future US president might decide he doesn't like them, but when he was last in office, he didn't pull back from them. Every country is signed up to them. Nothing happens if a country doesn't achieve them in full by 2030. But there was a fair amount of moral pressure from the very fact that it was the first time that the world had ever agreed on such a comprehensive agenda. So, in a sense, there is peer pressure. We're all egging each other on, trying to support each other. And we'll keep our fingers crossed and see how we eventually do by 2030. It's not just governments implementing them, it's also the academic and research community, civil society, the private sector. It's like a whole of world program of work, and that in itself is it's unprecedented. Universities and third-level institutions all over the world are actively implementing the SDGs. In fact, they see themselves as almost models for how society would implement the SDGs. Universities recognize that they are communities of, we'll say, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, and in a way, if you think about it, a university is actually implementing many of the goals already, whether even things like access to water, gender equality, sustainable cities, sustainable building, food security. In many ways, universities are mini communities. So I mention this because not only are universities a repository of research and study and education about sustainability, but in themselves they can introduce sustainable practices, and that is one of the great merits of what I've heard about SETU, that it is doing that, and the initiative last year was wonderful, and this will be even more successful, I'm sure. So I'd like to congratulate all concerned on this initiative, which fits in very, very well with the global SDGs, and in fact is a model for universities in many other countries. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Ambassador, and it's a real pleasure to have you here. Somebody who was there from the outset, you know, it's very important for us to be able to hear from you. Our final speaker today is Dr. John Barrymore, who is the All-Ireland Manager of the Sustainable Development Solutions Network. So could we give him a warm welcome, please?
Thank you, Hazel, and it's an honor to be here today. Thank you, President, and it's good to have people here from the States. I haven't heard somebody say y'all in about 7 years and not referring to the coastal town in Cork. So welcome. And the one thing I'd like to say really, and to build off what David was saying, that, you know, we got to look deeper beyond the 17 sort of emblems, or you know, and we really need to be thinking in terms of the 2030 agenda and the language in there, and about them being indivisible, all the SDG targets. And so we need to really be thinking about this whole linked up aspect, and also sort of this multi-sectoral aspect that academics need to be working with business, need to be working with NGOs, with government. So it really is a joined up thing, and it's not any one person's responsibility to advance the SDGs, but it's really all of us collectively, you know, bringing this forward. And so it's not about deferring the power, but taking and seizing that power and taking action with that. And so SDSN, as David was saying, it's under the auspices of the United Nations. It's 2,000 some odd universities working, you know, in collaboration in this global network of networks, which is very powerful. And in Ireland, we're looking at sort of the north-south aspect of it. So Queen's University Belfast and University College Cork are the hosts of this network, which is now 15 members. And we're working collaboratively, which sometimes goes against the DNA of higher education, but really time is getting to the point where we can't play this way anymore, and we really have to work more collaboratively, and we have to pool our resources to advance this agenda if our future generations are going to have the same kind of life that we've been afforded. So something to think about. And the other thing of what brought this into sort of us being here today was finding out that of this art festival, realizing that through SDSN we're doing sort of something in parallel up in Queens with, you know, realizing that arts is a way, and culture and all aspects of this is a way to really communicate to everybody this message of sustainability, of climate action, and all these things, but to really affect people in a visceral way. And I'm old enough, as a child, I remember seeing those first photographs of the whole Earth coming back from Apollo 8 and seeing the lunar landscape opposed to the living planet we are on, and how that impacted so many people, just that visual image. And to me, this is the power of arts, the way it can just reach so many people. And that image became the symbol of the environmental movement that sort of emerged right after that, because it changed people's thinking. And this, to me, is, again, the power of arts, where we have this intersectional space of arts and, you know, with the science, too, you know, so to be meaningful with it that way, but also to realize this power and this potential. But the only word of caution I really have is what, you know, I'm not a psychologist, but what's in the literature there is that there's two things we need to think about in terms of climate anxiety and eco-anxiety, and even when it advances into the state of trauma, is people need to have some sense of hope. So it can't just be a doom and gloom story, you know, to get people's attention, but there has to be a place of realizing there is something beyond this, and having a sense of agency. So being able to take action and having agency, whether it's working at the individual level or working for systems change. So these are the things that, you know, if you're expressing this through the arts, I would just keep that in mind. So we'll leave it there, and we do have a workshop, David and I, at 1:15, where we're going to be exploring some of these concepts deeper. So thank you very much.
Thank you, John. And before we hand over to the students from the Our Lady of Mercy Secondary School for the performance of their composition, I just want to acknowledge the other members of the team, the festival team that have been working with me. So we've been working together very hard for the last couple of years. So I have Don O'Neill, who's down there. We've got Nolene Dooley. We've got Susan Connolly, Jackie Rafferty, Michael Quinn, and we were delighted this year to be joined by two PhD students. We have our President Scholar, Denise McAllister Wiley, and we also have our Irish Research Council Scholar, Nidhi, I'm so sorry, Nidhi, I'm going to murder this, Piplar Kapoor. Is that good? Thank you. All right. And also, as this is being streamed to our other campuses, we have got Ailish O'Brien, who's leading the festival initiative on the Wexford campus, and we have Eleanor O'Leary, who is leading it on the Carlow campus, and we'd just like to thank them so much. Okay, so now we're going to introduce you to first and second year students from Our Lady of Mercy Secondary School. Their teachers, Miss Parks and Miss Dunphy, have very kindly brought them along here today, and they've been working for the past few months with our Year 3 music students, Jonathan, Megan, Kayla and Leslie. So I'm going to let them introduce the composition themselves and just hand over to them. So could we give them a warm welcome, please?
Hi all, welcome to the SETU Sustainability in the Arts Festival 2024. We are the first and second year music students from the Mercy Secondary School in Waterford City. We'll be performing a composition that we created with third year music students from SETU, Johnny, Kayla, Leslie and Megan. Our piece, Sounds of Sustainability, traces our sustainability journey using instruments from recycled materials, body percussion, boom whackers and voices.
The composition starts off peacefully, representing the world as it once was before pollution and inequality. The middle section of the piece represents the chaos of our current world, while the ending concludes with a peaceful rainstorm to show the world after we've done our bit. We have been working with Charlie, an SETU art student, to create a graphic score of the composition, which is on display in the main atrium. Thanks to all who have helped facilitate this project. It was really fun, and we hope you enjoy it as much as we have. Pollution is a greater threat to life than war.
Around 27,000 trees are cut down each year.
Paper from trees can be recycled 6 times.
2023 was the warmest year on record. Humans only use 1% of water that is available.
Nothing Do not need to, do not need to, do not need to.
Pollution is a greater threat to life than war.
Around 27,000 trees are cut down each year.
Papers from trees can be recycled 6 times.
2023 was the warmest year on record.
We can only use 1% of water that is available.
Thank you so much. Wasn't that absolutely wonderful, everybody? And the concept came from themselves. Well done to everybody. Okay, so our next event is we've got some cookery demonstrations that are going on across the hall there in the demonstration kitchens. So these are being facilitated by the culinary arts students led by Michael Quinn. So if anybody would like to go over, we've divided it into 2 sections or 2 sessions in case we don't fit everybody in the first one. So there's one happening now and then the second one will start at 12 o'clock. So we'd be delighted if you'd like to join us for that. After that, we're going to move on over to the atrium over in the other building, and we've got loads of activities there for you to get involved with. So thanks again to everybody who contributed to making this a success.